With Power BI Desktop, you can connect to many different types of data sources, then shape the data to meet your needs, enabling you to create visual reports to share with others. Shaping data means transforming the data, renaming columns or tables, changing text to numbers, removing rows, setting the first row as headers, and so on. Combining data means connecting to two or more data sources, shaping them as needed, then consolidating them into a single query. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to shape data by using Power Query Editor, connect to data sources from the web, combine those data sources, and create a data model to use in reports. This tutorial demonstrates how to shape a query by using Power BI Desktop, highlighting the most common tasks we see in the workplace today. Now, let's dive into the tutorial. Open your Power BI Desktop and create a new file. We will start with how to shape data in Power Query Editor. To shape data in Power Query Editor, you provide step-by-step instructions for Power Query Editor to adjust the data as it loads and presents the data. The original data source isn't affected, only this particular view of the data is adjusted or shaped. The steps you specify, such as rename a table, transform a data type, or delete a column, are recorded by Power Query Editor. Each time this query connects to the data source, Power Query Editor carries out those steps so that the data is always shaped the way you specify. This process occurs whenever you use Power Query Editor, or for anyone who uses your shared query, such as on the Power BI service. Those steps are captured, sequentially, in the Query Settings pane, under Applied Steps. From the Home tab, click Get Data, then click on Web. In the URL field, enter the URL address showing on the screen. You can also find the URL in the video description below. Then click OK. In the Navigator window, check Table 1, then click Transform Data. The Power Query Editor window opens. You can see the default steps applied so far in the Query Settings pane under Applied Steps. Here, let me explain each step. Source step represents the data source. Extracted table from HTML is the selected table. Promoted headers will set the top row into column headers. And changed type will change the column types, which are imported as text, to their inferred types. Change the table name from Table 1 to Retirement Data, then press Enter. Let's add a custom column to calculate a different score. We'll then sort the table on this column to compare the custom scores ranking to the existing rank. From the Add Column ribbon, select Custom Column. In the Custom Column dialog, in the New Column Name field, enter New Score. For the custom column formula, enter the following formula showing on the screen. Make sure the status message is showing no syntax errors have been detected. Click OK. In the Query Settings, the Applied Steps list now shows the new added custom step we just defined. Before we work with this query, let's make a few changes to the table. To remove the weather column, select the column. Click the Home tab from the ribbon, and then click Remove Columns. The new score values haven't changed, due to the ordering of the steps. Power Query Editor records the steps sequentially, yet independently, of each other. To apply actions in a different sequence, you can move each applied step up or down. Right-click a step to display the Steps context menu. Move up the Removed Column step to just above the Added Custom step. Select the Added Custom step. Notice the new score column now shows error rather than the calculated value. So there are several ways to fix the error. If you select the cell without clicking on the word error, Power Query Editor displays the error information. If you select the word error directly, Power Query Editor creates an applied step in the Query Settings pane and displays information about the error. To fix the errors, there are two changes needed: removing the weather column name and changing the divisor from 8 to 7. You can make these changes in two ways. Right-click the custom column step and select Edit Settings. This brings up the custom column dialog you used to create the new score column. Edit the formula by removing the weather column and change the divisor from 8 to 7. Or you can edit the formula directly in the formula bar. To sort the data based on the new score column. First, select the added custom step to display the most recent data. Then, select the drop-down located next to the new score column header and choose Sort Descending. The data is now sorted according to new score. You can select an applied step anywhere in the list and continue shaping the data at that point in the sequence. Power Query Editor automatically inserts a new step directly after the currently selected applied step. In Applied Steps, select the step preceding the removed column step. Here we'll replace the value of the housing cost ranking in Oregon. Right-click the appropriate cell that contains Oregon's housing cost value, and then select Replace Values. Because we're inserting a step, Power Query Editor reminds us that subsequent steps could cause the query to break. Change the data value to 100. Power Query Editor replaces the data for Oregon. When you create a new applied step, Power Query Editor names it based on the action, in this case, replaced value. If you have more than one step with the same name in your query, Power Query Editor appends an increasing number to each subsequent applied step's name. Select the last applied step. Notice the data has changed regarding Oregon's new ranking. This change occurs because we inserted the replaced value step in the correct location, before the added custom step. We've now shaped our data to the extent we need to. Next, let's connect to another data source and combine data. The data about various states is interesting and will be useful for building further analysis efforts and queries. However, most data about states uses a two-letter abbreviation for state codes, not the full name of the state. We need a way to associate state names with their abbreviations. There's another public data source that does provides that association, but it needs a fair amount of shaping before we can connect it to our retirement table. From the Home ribbon, select New Source, then click on Web. Enter the address of the website as showing on the screen for state abbreviations, or you can copy the link from the description. In the Navigator's window, select codes and abbreviations for U.S. states, federal district, territories, and other regions. To get the data into the correct shape, first, we need to remove the top row. From the Home ribbon, select Remove Rows, then click Remove Top Rows. The Remove Top Rows window appears. Specify 1 as the row count to remove. Promote the new top row to headers with Use First Row as headers from the Home tab or from the Transform tab in the ribbon. Because the retirement data table doesn't have information for Washington, D.C. or territories, we need to filter them from our list. Select the name and status of Region 1 columns drop-down. Then clear all checkboxes except State. Because we need only the mapping of each state to its official two-letter abbreviation, we can remove the other columns. First, select the name and status of region column, then hold down the Control key and select the ANSI column. From the Home tab on the ribbon, select Remove Columns, then click Remove Other Columns. There are a few ways to rename a column. First, select the column, then either select Rename from the Transform tab on the ribbon. or right-click and select Rename. To rename the table, enter the name state codes in the Query Settings pane. Now that we've shaped the state codes table the way we want, let's combine these two tables, or queries, into one. Because the tables we now have are a result of the queries we applied to the data, they're often referred to as queries. There are two primary ways of combining queries: merging and appending. For one or more columns that you'd like to add to another query, you will merge the queries. For one or more rows of data that you'd like to add to an existing query, you will append the query. In this case, we want to merge the queries. From the left pane of Power Query Editor, select the query into which you want the other query to merge. In this case, it's retirement data. Select Merge Queries. You might be prompted to set the privacy levels to ensure the data is combined without including or transferring data you don't want transferred. The Merge window appears. It prompts you to select which table you'd like merged into the selected table and the matching columns to use for the merge. Select State from the Retirement Data table, then select the State Codes query. When you select a matching columns, the OK button is enabled. Select OK. Power Query Editor creates a new column at the end of the query, which contains the contents of the table that was merged with the existing query. All columns from the merged query are condensed into the column, but you can expand the table and include whichever columns you want. To expand the merged table and select which columns to include, select the Expand icon. The Expand window appears. In this case, we want only the state code column. Select that column. Clear Use original column name as prefix, and then select OK. We now have a single query that combines two data sources, each of which was shaped to meet our needs. This query can be a basis for interesting data connections, such as housing cost statistics, quality of life, or crime rate in any state. If you want to explore how to bring in the state codes table, you can experiment a bit. If you don't like the results, just delete that step from the Applied Steps list in the Query Settings pane, and your query returns to the state prior to applying that expand step. You can do this as many times as you like until the expand process looks the way you want it. To apply your changes and close Power Query Editor, select Close and Apply from the Home ribbon tab. The transformed dataset appears in Power BI Desktop, ready to be used for creating reports. So this concludes this Power BI tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and find the tutorial useful. Don't forget to give this video a like and click on the subscribe button. See you guys next time.